speaker. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Farid Zainuddin to share his experience on surviving major depressive disorder. Dr. Farid?
Okay, sorry for the technical
Okay, yes.
problem. Okay, I'll just rewind a bit. My name is Farid Zainuddin. I'm 29 years old, currently living in Taiping. I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder 2 years ago, and because of that situation, I have to leave the medical practice. I'm currently the first year student in Master in Family Counselling in USIM, University Science Islam Malaysia, and I'm hoping to work as a registered counselor to help more families and other individuals as well in caring for their mental health. And for now, I'm more advocating for mental health awareness in social media, particularly in Facebook. Right. So, was becoming a doctor my choice? It was my choice. I graduated from Monash University Malaysia 2018, and I did my housemanship back in UMMC, University Malaysia Medical Center. And although it was my choice because of the depression that occurred, so I kind of have to juggle between focusing on my mental health, or do I have to still proceed with medical training in housemanship. um, when what happened was that I was starting my work as a houseman. It was first posting anyway, and it was a very challenging period. I was adjusting to a new posting, new work. Before then, I wasn't working, and now I'm thrown into a very stressful situation as well. And as you all know, housemanship can be very stressful, long working hours, and there are jobs upon jobs. Just after you have finished one thing, you have to complete others, and then you might neglect your own mental health, your physical care as well. So what happened? The peak of it all was when in second week of tagging, and I was woken up very. I was panicky at 3 a.m. I went to sleep at 12 a.m. And when I woke up, I was panicky and I suddenly just cried because I was so tired. I really needed that sleep, and I need to talk to someone, and I don't know anyone else could talk to me at that time. I wanted to talk to my mom, but it was 3 a.m. So I called Befrienders. Befrienders is an NGO that provided like peer listening to other people who might want to share about their mental health burden. And I talked to them. The representative was very good, and they talked to me about 1 hour. And after that chat, they suggested that I go for a psychiatric review. And the next day, I went to a psychiatric clinic. Uh, I was first diagnosed with adjustment disorder. It was very stressful, and I need rest. So they gave me medical leave and medication just to help with my sleep because I was having insomnia as well. And after that, after a week, I returned to their clinic, and I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder. Despite how my sleep was improved, my mood wasn't particularly improving at all, and I still have these negative thoughts that are bugging me. Other than all those negative thoughts, I felt very depressed. It felt empty. It's not just sadness. It's like empty. I felt like I lost my purpose. I felt very negative about myself. I feel like I'm not good. And then having insomnia, my appetite, I lost my appetite. My movement was very slow, and I couldn't concentrate and focus on what others are talking about, the job instructions, and I was very forgetful. So it impaired my cognitive function as well. And during that period, I need to take continuous 90 days MC. 2 weeks after 2 weeks of review, I've changed my medication up to 4 times, and up until the third month, I already developed psychosis. I was having auditory hallucination. I was hearing voice clearly beside my ears. It was telling me, "You're not useful. You're not good. You're not competent enough to be a doctor. You shouldn't be even be here." So that psychosis episode didn't even go away with medication, aripiprazole, so I need to undergo for ECT, electroconvulsive therapy. And after that treatment, it how I improved a lot. My mood become better, my appetite returned, and I felt better after that. But because I've exhausted all my 90 days of um, leave, so I have to consider whether to um, continue practicing or I have to leave because I need to recover as well, despite my recovering mood. Um, after that, although at that time I was offered to change department to another department, um, but since I've exhausted my leave, so I chose to quit and focus on my mental health because or else even if I continue, even though I've improved a bit, but I'm afraid that I might get a relapse and that could impair my job as well. So I just decided, okay, this is not working for me, so I'll just focus on recovery instead. um, Stigma, there are two types of stigma: self stigma and also stigma from outside. It could be the society, public, family members, and all. For me, I didn't face stigma from my family. I wasn't the first person in my family to be diagnosed with a mental health issues. There were other members. So by the time I was diagnosed, we were more understanding of my situation, and I'm so very, very, very truly grateful for my family support that has helped me throughout this recovery period. But it was more on I was struggling with my self stigma because of that negative thought. I think that I'm not that good enough for this job, so it's more of that sort of battle. But for there are so stigma wise, I didn't face it much from the public, but for my other friends, my colleagues as well, who they said they want to quit, but their families wasn't supportive. So that's actually quite common in our fraternity. When we said we want to leave, we want to take care of ourselves, and we were considered to be weak. We were considered to be, you're not good enough. So, like what Dr. Sina said, we were expected to be like a robot. And the thing is, we are humans, and we have our emotions, our physical. Uh, we need to take care of our mental health, physical health. So, I think this is a very important issue to be highlighted. And so, after I quit, I focused on my recovery and there was like try and error. I applied jobs with my sister as well. We were company hopping from one interview to another, and when it was 2020, a year later, when I find my ground. This is when I started sharing about my mental health journey to other in social media, in Facebook, and at that point, I felt I'm ready to tell this story to the public because when I was diagnosed with depression, I was lost because I need someone who understand, who experienced this as well, to know that I'm not alone. I need someone else to tell me that, hey, you're not alone in this. So I decided to tell my story, and I'm hoping that there are others who are reading can benefit it from that. So since then, I got few messages from other people, even house officers and even medical officers, talking about their mental health, and even my colleagues and outsiders as well. At that point, I felt like, okay, I want to help, but not sure how to help them as well because I'm not trained to to counsel them. So that's when I decided to go into counseling. I searched. Actually, I wanted to choose between clinical psychology, neuroscience, or counseling. Clinical psychology deals. They can diagnose and treat mental health and mental illnesses as well with psychotherapy. And for counseling, it's not just for mental health. There are a lot of other fields, relationship, career, and whatnot. So, but I found that counseling is more flexible to enter, and I chose to go into family counseling specifically to focus on family therapy and how because my family was very supportive of me. So and I want to know how other families are doing and what we can do to help them as a unit to support the mental health of someone who are affected with mental health issues in their family. So currently I'm in USIM, Masing Family Counseling. I'm actually gonna start class tomorrow. I'm very new to this. And like I said, counseling is just not about mental health. There are a lot of other fields you can work with, such as family therapy, couple therapy, children and adolescent focus, premarital and marital counseling, substance abuse, and clinical mental health. There are other subdivision for counseling as well, just like medical specialties, right? So for counseling, degree is the basic requirement, but you're not necessary to have degree in counseling or prior experience as counselor. As for me, I have no knowledge at all about counseling, and I do not have any working experience as a in, in counseling as well. So, but for most of the universities, they said that having a degree in whatever any degrees would be a basic prerequisite. And about salary, to be honest, I'm not certain because I'm very new to this. But I've seen that there are counselors who charge up to 100 ringgit per session, 200 even more. It depends on the counselor, their specialty, the nature of the counseling. But about the salary, there are also suggestions from counselors and psychologists to make the counseling session cheaper for the public. So you'll probably be seeing changes in charges in the future, right? We'll see about that. And if you are inclined to go back to work as a government service, you can also use your master degree as a counselor to enter back into the government service starting from grade 41 and above. But because you have master, you probably get more pay for that. And advice to doctors who want to make this change, I know that maybe you're listening to this and you're not even inclined to do counseling, and it's okay. This is just a general advice. If your mental health is jeopardized, take is very recommended to take time to recover because there's no health without mental health. We often think that mental health is probably not that important compared to physical health, but I think with the awareness, we're even celebrating a mental health day. So I think it's important to consider it as equal, and to take time to recover from what's troubling you. I have my colleagues as well who was diagnosed with a generalized anxiety disorder, another colleague of mine depression, and I advise the same thing. Please take time to recover and take medical leave if possible. I know if with the COVID, we are understaffed. Probably taking medical leave probably is not something that's uh, easy to do because you need to cover a lot of grounds. But if possible, please take care of your mental health. So, not just a medical leave. There are coping mechanisms as well. Go out with friends and family. Social support is very important because without social support, it's very difficult to focus on your mental health recovery. Because for me, when I was at my most severe state, I was in that psychotic state, right? I couldn't even function. I couldn't even take care of myself. So I really need my family members, and they really helped me through. So social support is very important. And if you want to pursue counseling, you're more than welcome to come into because we only have about 4,000 counselors around in Malaysia. And if I'm not mistaken, there's one medical officer who actually contacted me and said that she wanted to pursue counseling, and she's already undertaking master in psychiatry. And I was thinking like, oh, maybe you can just finish your master, but probably I didn't say that, but If you want to, make change and go into counseling, you are more than welcome. And while mental health is a fraction of what counseling offers, you can develop skills to help people. Like I said, you can focus on a lot of other field in counseling, career development, relationship, marital, wedding, premarital, marriage, children and adolescent. For me, my interest back then was pediatrics, and I think with family counseling, I can, even though I cannot treat them medically, maybe I can help them psychologically. Mental, and it's okay not to be okay. I think because we've been, like Dr. Sina said, the archaic system of our healthcare system. So I think it's very important to take care of our mental health. And if you want to make changes in your career, it's okay. You're not. And I think if possible, this is one of the idea that I've been having, like if possible for medical school to actually suggest at the end of their final year about alternative pathways other than doctors, because as we can see now there are a lot of doctors leaving medical practices, and maybe we can actually suggest to them other alternative. um, if you're inclined in research, for example, Master of Science in Molecular Biology, Neuroscience, Physiology, Anatomy, those are some of the options available if you are inclined in academic and research. And if you want to pursue in other career fields, that would be okay as well. It's a bit of try and error as well, as you're trying to search for things that are suitable for you. But I think that's a risk worth taking, because at the end of the day, we are the one who live with our life, our decision, and what makes us happy. So, and I hope in what I've shared benefited. Um, I hope this sharing also useful for you. And in conjunction with World Mental Health Day and Doctors Day, I want to wish all of you happy Doctors Day. And if you are struggling with mental health, there are resources available to reach out. And for example, Befrienders, and you can reach out to MIASA, Mental Illness Awareness and Support Association. There are also Facebook group. I was in depression. I'm currently in Depression Survivors Malaysia. You can also welcome to the group, and please take care of yourself during this trying time. And I hope with the allowance of the interstate travel, you are able to meet with your loved ones and be and celebrate your your family and friends well-being. So that's all from me. Okay, thank you. Back to you, Saura.
Thank you so much, Farid, for sharing your wonderful journey with us. It was very brave of you, willing to share with us. You are doing a great job, Farid. He is 2 years symptoms free. I hope all of us are taking good care of our well being and enjoying life as possible. According to WHO, during COVID era, 1 in 4 healthcare workers has depression and anxiety. Recent meta-analysis is 22% worldwide. At some point of our lives, we have our ups and downs. It is important to recognize